So you've got this revocable living trust, you've gathered all the assets, you've decided these are the surviving spouse's assets, and somebody's died. And so we're going to send all of the survivor's assets over here to the survivor's trust. So this survivor's trust is just like the revocable living trust, where it belongs really for tax purposes and liability purposes. It belongs to the surviving spouse, and that's going to include all of the surviving spouse's separate property and their share of community property. And that's going to be a revocable trust that the surviving spouse could amend or revoke at any time. And it's all includable in the survivor's estate. Okay. Then we need to look at, what about the deceased spouse's property? What are we going to do with the deceased spouse's property? Well, one option that could be in the trust, and you have to look to the trust to see what they chose, what they decided, is that it goes all over into the survivor's trust. If it is all going to the survivor's trust, then it goes over there. You don't get any new tax identification number. It is still filed under the surviving spouse's social security number. It causes no new tax returns. You're going to continue to do the things that you were doing, while they were alive, just paying for the survivor. Now everything is for the benefit of the surviving spouse, but there's nothing new on your administrative part that you need to do. If the trust has the deceased spouse's share going to the marital trust and or a bypass trust, then there's some additional things that need to be considered. So if it has it going to one of these or both of these trusts for tax reasons that they did this, or for protection purposes. So there's specific protections that they can get with these kinds of trusts that they can't get if it goes over to the survivor's trust. So just know, if it is going into these are irrevocable trusts. The bypass and marital trusts are irrevocable trusts, and they need their own tax identification numbers, and you will need to do separate accountings for each of them every year. So you will have to keep up with that. And then you're going to make sure that you make distributions from these trusts based on what the trust document says. So the trust document may say the bypass trust is to be distributed for the surviving spouse's health, education, maintenance, and support. It may say the bypass trust does not go to the surviving spouse, it goes to the children. Or it could say the bypass trust goes to the surviving spouse until they get married. If they get remarried, then it goes to the kids. Okay, so you have to read the trust. The marital trust is always going to be available for the surviving spouse. So the income and principal of a marital trust has to be available for the health, education, maintenance, and support of the surviving trust, but maybe it was created for some protection reasons. That's how you need to be on the lookout in your trust document for whether the deceased spouse's share is all going to the survivor's trust, or whether it's going to a marital trust or a bypass trust or some combination. And you will often need help interpreting that with an estate planning attorney, because the language can be kind of complicated and you'll need help understanding.